I double majored in professional and creative writing, and I got a minor in communication design, and I stayed on to get a master's in professional writing. And so when I graduated, I got a job working as a professional writer for a financial technology company, and it was in that position that I started doing workshops within the company, and then got sent to their other U.S. offices to do writing workshops for new hires, and then it was opened up to anybody who wanted to be part of it. And I realized that there was a big lack of skill with new hires who were college graduates, but also with people who had been in the professional world for a while who weren't able, or even if they were able, they weren't comfortable with their writing skills. And so I kind of ping-ponged around from that position. I went, that was really my first experience teaching. And so from that position, I got certified. I left that position to get certified to teach English language to adults, and I got that certification abroad in Scotland, with the intention of teaching at a school in Prague. But by the end of that course, I realized you didn't have to go abroad to teach people English. There's a huge need for it here. So I came back to the States, and I taught at Boston Public System. In the Boston Public System, ELL to first year students. And there was a number of positive and negative experiences at that school that led me to want to come back and study education. I was lucky enough to be in share a classroom with an experienced teacher who had, through the years, figured out ways to collect and maintain computers in her classroom. So there were 6 computers that lined the back of the classroom, which was high for most classrooms. And I had one student who had been in the country for less than 4 months, and he had never been, even though he was 16, he'd never been in what we consider formal education. So the entire structure of the day was new to him, and he had organizational issues, and was a problem in other classes, and other teachers would talk about him, and there's kind of this question on whether he had a learning disability, but the material to test that was in English, and nobody had time to translate it, and even if it was translated, it wasn't very clear how much literacy he had in his native language, so I don't know how useful that would have been. And so he was kind of not part of the classroom community until I was having problems on one of the computers in the back of the room, and he came up to fix it and was so good at navigating it that it became his job in our classroom to get things going, because I used a lot of non-traditional materials that came from the computer, and his ability with the computer became an asset that other students realized. It gave him currency in the classroom. So other students realized that he was able to teach them something. And in return, he would get English lessons from these other students, and it really, he blossomed in not just my class, but other classes. And it might have been, you know, more time in the country, more time in the system, but for our class and for my experience, being the expert with technology really was his way into our classroom and into our classroom community.